Well, wildcard round was an interesting one, and I'm here to recap it and break it down for you guys. So how's it going, everyone? I'm Jason of Jason's Realm here. I got a team of analysts. We all watched these games, and we all had some takeaways from it. But let's go ahead and recap these games and see how it goes. So up first, we had the Seattle Seahawks playing competitive and then getting absolutely decimated by the San Francisco 49ers. The game was close. The Seahawks, I think, had a lead at half. They had a 1-point lead at half. And then the second half happened, and San Fran just blew the door wide open. Yeah, San Francisco's going to be tough to beat. Unless they play like they did in the first half, then they could be beat next week by the Cowboys, maybe. But Seattle really needing to go back to the drawing board after this playoff victory. Is Geno truly the guy? Who do you need to sign? Who do you need to bring in to be competitive next year? Meanwhile, San Fran, they showed weakness, but they shouldn't have much trouble next week, as it is the Dallas Cowboys they will be going up against. Well, up next, we have the Los Angeles Chargers embarrassingly losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-30. The Los Angeles Chargers were up 27-0 with 30 seconds left in the first half, and they still managed to lose it. They had 4 interceptions and up 27-0, and they still lost it to Trevor Lawrence making a second half comeback. As the Chargers, they could only put up 3 points in the second half, so they struggled offensively, and the Jags were able to do it. Joey Bosa not containing his emotions at the end, possibly costing the team the game, because that allowed the Jags to go for an easy 2-point conversion after a touchdown to go down by 2, kick the field goal, and win the game. So Trevor Lawrence looking pretty solid, but he is going to have to go into Arrowhead next week and lead this team. I don't think they can do that. Arrowhead is one of the toughest places to play, and we will see that on full display next week. Meanwhile, the Chargers, Joey Bosa, control your emotions, my dude. Up next, we had another close game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. The Bills winning this one by a score of 34-31. It was a hard-fought battle. Miami stayed in it the whole way, but they just couldn't finish the game. But surprisingly, Skylar Thompson did do a decent job. It started out as a defensive struggle, and it ended that way as well, as Allen had an egregious game. He had like 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. That is not the type of play that you can go into Cincinnati, or that you can go home and play Cincinnati with next week and win. Meanwhile, the Dolphins, they played well despite not having Tua. I thought this game was going to be a 31-point blowout, and instead it was a tight one. So, surprisingly close game there. The Dolphins in a good spot for seasons to come. Up next, we have the New York Giants beating the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 31-24. This game was close throughout, and the Giants just remained one step ahead. Minnesota unable to come up big, and, they kind of blew the game. This was a game they should have been able to win, but they choked it. Meanwhile, Minnesota needing to look in the mirror after this one. You can't be a 13-win team with a minus point differential and still expect to win. You got to look in the mirror and say, hey, how can we fix this for next year and prevent it from happening? Meanwhile, the Giants really going in with all the momentum going into Philly next week, and I think they have a chance the way the Eagles have been playing recently. The best teams in the league have been choking, so let's see. Does that happen next week? Up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens falling to the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 24-27. Baltimore was able to stay in it till the end, which was incredible to think about. They were able to get down there, be able to do their thing, and keep it close. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for Tyler Huntley fumbling at the goal line that was returned for a touchdown, the Ravens walk away victorious in this one and end up going to KC next week. Meanwhile, Baltimore looking pretty solid, but Cincinnati able to take advantage of some of the Baltimore miscues. A bit of a sloppy game for them, but if they can play well next week, they should be fine. And last but not least, we have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-14. And it was just Dallas domination, despite Brett Maher's ineptitude of not making a single PAT until the very end of the game. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay was shut up, and really Tampa Bay needs to have a look in the mirror. You're not going to have Brady next year. Todd Bowles needs to be on his way out. That was a completely egregious game plan. I know you lost pieces from last year, but that was still an egregious game that was played on Todd Bowles' watch, and he has not been the good head coach for this team. So I think you got to look at Todd Bowles and try to get rid of him. Try to see if you could fire him, pull in someone new. I mean, the coaching cycle's already gone on pretty good, so it's going to be tough, but I think you still try to do that. Tampa Bay, yeah, Brady's out, Tampa's done. They're going to be back to garbage for quite some time. Meanwhile, Dallas, they have earned the right to have their butts get handed to them next week in Santa Clara at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers, unless the Niners do collapse like they did in the first half against the Seahawks. But I guess that just about does it for this video. If you guys did like, don't forget to smash like and smash subscribe. I wanted to take a second here as well to give a huge thank you to every single one of you guys who had checked us out this last weekend. We did cross the 250 subscriber threshold over the weekend, which just blows my mind to think about. I mean, I never thought we would get this far to over 250, honing in on 300. And you know what? Let's see if we can hit 300 by the Super Bowl. Why not? Setting it right now. If we could hit 300 by the Super Bowl, we'll come up with something. If you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. See if we have any ideas for something special to do at 300 subscribers if we hit it by the Super Bowl. And I guess at that point, we will see you guys tomorrow for our Power Rankings video. And I guess we will see you later. Peace out and have a good one.